Good evening and welcome to another Channel 8 sports presentation. Tonight from East Brunswick High School Gymnasium, it's East Brunswick Wrestling as the Bears take on South Plainfield in a Greater Middlesex Conference match. Hi, I'm Jimmy Allinder, and I'm being joined tonight by former East Brunswick wrestler and coach Stu Kohn. Stu, welcome aboard.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay, well, tonight we have a match against East Brunswick, which is a Group 4 team, versus South Plainfield, which is a Group 2 team. You would think that East Brunswick would be favored in this match, huh?
Not necessarily tonight, Jim. South Plainfield comes in here, and they are just the class of Middlesex County. They're loaded from bottom to top, and there's just really no holes in that lineup. They returned 7 district champs from last year's season, and they're a very, very tough opponent.
Okay, well, having all that talent, it looks like East Brunswick's going to have quite a match tonight. How do you see the outcome? Are there any individual matches that we should look forward to tonight?
Well, any coach never wants to concede victory. It's a real tough task to beat these guys. But East Brunswick's going to give it their best shot. We do have a couple of marquee matchups. It'd be interesting if we get Adam Gensler against Greg Matthews at the 112-pound bout, which are 2 kids that very well could be a replay of the state finals tonight.
Interesting. It's interesting that the last match that we did, we had a situation where our 2 best wrestlers, Mark Gensler at 119 and Sean Daly at 185, were both awarded forfeits, so we didn't get an opportunity to see them, but I imagine we're going to see him tonight, especially Sean Daly. He's a good one for East Brunswick.
Sean is tough. He just recently set the school record he's got a good 20 matches to go, but he just set the record already for the most pins in his career, and he's still got another 15 opportunities to get another pin and add on to that record before he leaves the school. And Gensler, he's about to set the school record for wins. So we got 2 very talented kids, and Coach Bazinko tells me that Gensler and Sean, and along with Teddy Wright, provide excellent leadership for this team. And he's real happy with the way the team's boating together.
Okay, as a former coach, what is the mindset at this point? It's the middle of January. East Brunswick they have a 4-3 record right now. Might be on the short end of the GMC Red Division. What is it as a coach now that you look for to get your team prepared for the February GMC tournament and then ultimately the districts?
Well, the Bears scheduled a tough schedule this year to get them ready for district time and sectional time. And the 4-3 record really isn't any indication of how tough the Bears are either, because they're going up against some of the best teams in the state. And the Red Division is within their grasp as a team championship, and only Old Bridge on Saturday stands in their way. And I was talking to Coach Bazinko late yesterday, and he tells me this is a good indication to see how we can do against Old Bridge on Saturday, and they're really gunning for that title on Saturday, and they think they have a good shot.
Okay, so we're going to be set with tonight's match, East Brunswick against South Plainfield. Again, this is not a Red Division match, but it's certainly going to be a good gauge for the Bears as to how well they're going to do later on this season. So we will be back with the action in just a moment. Okay, we are back at East Brunswick High School Gymnasium, where East Brunswick's wrestling team will take on undefeated South Plainfield in a GMC match. You see the captains for East Brunswick, Mark Gensler and Sean Daly. And this is an important toss, isn't it?
It could be. Sometimes it comes down to a little bit of an edge and who has to put the man on the mat first.
Didn't it used to be, Stu, that the home team automatically had the last say, or did it work vice versa? How did that work?
Years ago it was, and to neutralize that advantage, you now have a coin flip,
right,
and it's an alternating bout type system.
Okay. All righty. All right, we're going to have for East Brunswick, this looks like Phil Leota.
Phil Leota, he's a product of the East Brunswick Recreation Wrestling System, and Phil comes in here as a freshman, and he's probably already got 7-8 years experience wrestling, as does his opponent, Tommy Dorr, who had an impressive upset victory over the second-rated wrestler in Middlesex County last week from South River, and that's Chris Noto.
Okay. All righty. So
we should be in for a good one.
We're about ready to go.
Right now they're just feeling each other out.
Okay, it looks like the South Plainfield wrestler Dorr already has a leg lock.
He's in on a single. He's looking to advance on it. There's no points yet.
Going to get him now.
Referee Bob Whitaker just signals a 2-point takedown. Once there's control on the mat, that signifies a takedown. That's a 2-point maneuver. Go out of bounds, and now they'll restart in the down position on the mat the same way they went out of bounds. So Tommy Dora was in control. He'll start back on top. Jim, I hear nothing but good things about this Tommy Dora, and he is the future big gun for South Plainfield.
Well, let me ask you this, Stu. South Plainfield sort of reloads every year.
That's right.
What is it? What is in the water in South Plainfield that they? I mean, we talked about it from the beginning. A Group 2 team. You just don't see the horses coming out of Group 2 teams necessarily. South Plainfield does it. There's a situation right now that is very precarious for Leota.
It's just a lot of tradition, Jim. Now he's not going to earn any points here because it's on the line. You have to have the opponent's shoulders completely in bounds to earn any near fall points. So Phil played it smart on the edge there, and he managed to keep himself out of a tough situation where he could have given up 2 or 3 points.
But you were talking about the South Plainfield tradition. Do they have I know that East Brunswick has an excellent recreation program. Whoops.
I don't know quite what to benefit it to. They just never seem to rebuild. They just seem to reload.
Okay.
Just like you said. You see Tommy Dora, he's working an arm bar now. He's trying to turn Phil. What Phil needs to do is establish some hand control.
Well, real trouble here for Leota.
He's in a near fall situation.
Yeah, he's got him turned.
And it is a fall.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Phil has nothing to be ashamed of. He just wrestled probably the top 1 or 2 wrestler in the county.
Okay, and that's a pin at 131.
That's
So,
102. That's
was it 10?
That's good.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, but 131 was the time of the fall.
It's early yet. We'll work that out.
Okay.
That's going to pick up 16 points for South Plainfield. Interesting to note how tough South Plainfield is. They've already dismantled the third-ranked team in the county by some 30 or 40 points. That tells you the drop in level after them in the county. Here on the mat, we have David Blackborough for East Brunswick and Kevin Hayduck for South Plainfield.
Hayduck, okay. The reason why we're hesitating a little bit on the programs is, as we mentioned, the coaches do not have to commit their wrestlers until right before the time, and what they do is they load up with a couple of people, so it's kind of a chess match that's going on right now.
There's a 2-point takedown.
Okay, Blackborough, sophomore, comes in with a 6-6 record, and Hayduck is 9-2, senior.
And a returning district champ. Another one of South Plainfield's district champs.
Well, the thing that strikes me about this South Plainfield team is the balance up and down the lineup. They are strong in every weight class, it seems.
There's really nowhere to hide against them. Okay, now they're out of bounds. They're going to restart.
It's hard to believe this kid is 108.
The referee's going to motion him down.
That.
Well, I'm sure right about now he's probably already up to about 114.
Now, what do you mean by that? Now, I mean, they weigh in and then they already...
They weigh in, and those first couple things you seem to put in your mouth seem to weigh about 2 or 3 pounds.
Uh-huh. That much of a weight differential, huh?
Well, he's probably went a little hungry today in order to make the weight limit.
Uh-huh.
And like most wrestlers do, after they know they weighed in and they made the weight, they're going right for the goodie bag.
Really?
And Coach Pazinko informed me that the Bears are on a bagel meal after they make weight. They talk to the trainer, Phil Hostler, and it seems to be an easy food to digest. And the team has gotten the habits of eating bagels supplied by the East Brunswick Wrestling Club before they wrestle. It seems to be working out.
That's kind of a nice gesture on the Boosters Club's part.
Well, I think Shannon Daly has a lot to thank for that. She's really held that club together as we wind down the first period.
It's 2-0 for Haydock in favor of Blackboro. South Plainfield has a 6-0 lead on the face of a Tommy Dorr pin of Phil Leota. We didn't get to talk too much about Phil Leota before, but I understand he's a triplet. Is a triplet. We may see his other brother, Russell.
And there's a girl in the family.
Okay.
2 boys and a girl.
Imagine little favoritism there, probably.
And while we're on the Leota subject, George Leota, the father, he's really done a lot for the program as well. He's been the director of East Brunswick Wrestling for several years.
Okay.
And that helps with the tradition of East Brunswick's success, getting those people involved. And George has been a big part of that East Brunswick Wrestling program for many years.
All right. 4-0 now is the score. You can see Haydock's experience coming out here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's picked himself up a couple near fall points. Now, the referee won't award those points until they leave that situation.
I understand.
And we do have an experienced referee tonight, Bob Whitaker. He's done the state finals.
Talk about experience. I understand that you are intimately involved in the officiating capacity in New Jersey.
Something I enjoy to do, Jim.
New Jersey. Well, tell me specifically what it is here.
Well,
we'll see what we got here.
They're
now.
in a pinning situation.
Yeah.
And Davin, he's got a bridge. He's got to count those lights right now. He's got to fight and try to hang tough for 45 seconds.
Look at him turn that head.
And he's fighting. Not a comfortable situation to be in. And he pulled it out.
Okay, there's 3 points for the near fall.
Now they're into a cradle situation. So
He turned him real quick, didn't he?
Now he can get more back points here because it's a different pinning combination.
Right. 20 seconds left to go in period 2.
He's got it pretty tight here. Yeah, there's nowhere to hide there. You see the experience really coming out.
All right, 3 minutes and 45 seconds.
Well, Davin, he'll bounce back. He'll be back. Nothing to be ashamed of there.
So it is now a 12-0 score for South Plainfield.
Right now, I think we're going to see the marquee matchup of the night. Only the third bout, but we got 2 of the state's best here.
Wow.
First, I want to apologize to Mark earlier in the taping. I referred to him as Adam.
Okay.
And I think that's from my coaching days when I had his brother. So I owe Mark an apology. I won't let it happen again, Mark.
Well, let's watch and enjoy this one. Oh, Greg Matthews quickly gets a 2-point takedown on Gensler. Gensler not used to being behind. You can see the anguish on his face.
Well, he's an experienced wrestler. He's going to pop right back up here. Look for him to explode on the whistle. As he does. He's right to his feet. He's looking to get his neutral.
Whoa! Got his neutral.
The referee awards the 1 point. They're on their feet. So Mark earns 1 point, so we're at 2-1 now. Both wrestlers are looking for an opening. Marcus is so conditioned.
Got him again.
There's no points awarded yet.
Who has the advantage right now?
Right now, it's pretty neutral. Mark has a whizzer in.
Okay.
No points are awarded. We're out of bounds. We're going to restart. We're going to restart on our feet in a neutral position.
What do we got here? Contact lens out?
We're looking for a contact.
Two to 1 the score.
It's interesting to note here while we have a second. Marcus is an outstanding student. Maintains over a 4.0 GPA. 1350 on the SATs, and he's looking at Duke and maybe Rutgers to continue his wrestling career.
You have to figure that even with his academic credentials, he does have enough quality to be able to wrestle on the college level.
And moving up this year to 112 weight class, you know, he's been at 103. Moving up to 112 will make more college coaches take a look at him. He'll be much more recruitable.
Well, he had a little bit of a disadvantage last year, Stu. If you remember, he suffered that injury that curtailed a very promising season. Wasn't able to get into the districts,
Jim,
the states, and things.
That was just a shame. He's still going to leave this school with with well over 80 wins, hopefully 90. Now the referee
Awards what?
awards a stalling caution. He's saying that Mark is backing. In the neutral position, you have to constantly be going forward.
It's got him.
He's got it on the legs.
Yeah.
There's no advantage yet. No points are awarded. Mark's going to try to hang tough. He's got that whizzer in. He's pressuring the head down.
What I'm noticing is Gensler's upper body strength is really something. It's able to get him out of a predicament.
Well, Mark tells me these two guys are pretty good friends, but not tonight. They're both going for that win. You have two of the best wrestlers in the state hitting up against each other right now. Both these guys just taste it right now.
Kind of fortunate that Gensler gets to go against a quality opponent like Matthews in a dual meet, because this is the type of competition that he wants to prep him for the counties and the states.
Absolutely, Jim.
All right, Gensler elects the down position, so right away he's going to look to escape, see if he can tie this score. It's 2-1 in favor of Matthews after one period. We're in the 112-pound match. East Brunswick and South Plainfield. South Plainfield up 12-0.
In the fall, Mark was running cross country to get in shape for wrestling. Now Mark's looking to get up to his feet. Let's see if the referee's going to award it. There it is. Gives him the 1. Got a 2-2 score, and we're going to be neutral.
Very important for Gensler to see if he can get some points here, because it will be Matthews who has the escape possibility in the third period.
That's correct. Or choice of position.
Okay.
And he's going to put himself in a position where he can score points. That's a stalemate situation. Referee feels they're pretty locked together and no one can really advance their position, so he's going to restart him in a neutral position.
Nice crowd here this evening for this match.
It's starting to fill up now, Jim. There it is, there it is. Gensler's in deep, good penetration.
Not enough though, huh?
Now what you saw Mark do there was trail his feet in the mat. As long as he can keep his feet in the mat, in the wrestling area, the referee can award the points. Once Mark's feet cross over that boundary line, it doesn't have the opportunity to score points.
Boy, you can see these two guys are equally matched.
Absolutely. I think we're approaching a stalemate situation here. Unless somebody can improve, I think we're going to see another stalemate. There we go. There we go.
What do we got
Nothing
here?
yet. Nothing yet. Gensler's close. He's got the leg in. He's got the leg in.
Desperately needs 2 points here. Not desperately, but
I'm not officiating tonight, but I see 2.
okay.
There it is.
You
And
got
there
it.
it is. He got it.
And it's a 4-2 score now with 30 seconds left in the second period.
There's that stalemate.
Stalemate.
Probably a good situation for Mark there that did end in a stalemate. He's starting to lose that hold. Now he's going to get a fresh start to ride. I was talking to Mark yesterday, and this is where he likes to be. He likes to be on the mat, feels he has good control. He's ready to go all 6 minutes, and this is probably a good place for him to be right now with 14 seconds left.
I was going to say,
in the second
Matthews
period.
has that time to get out of this, and it doesn't look like he's going to unless he does something drastic. We're down to 5 seconds now, and they'll hold on to this, probably. So we are into the third period now with Gensler holding on to a tenuous 4-2 lead. This has been an extremely close and exciting match. Matthews jumped out to a 2-0 lead, and then Gensler escaped to make it 2-1. Got another escape to tie it up, and then a 2-point takedown. Here we go, the third period.
Gensler's been at a higher weight class. He just came down to 112 to get some of this tough competition. And already he's beating the Somerset County champ this year, 13-2. That was Stuffin from Somerville. So Gensler's got some impressive victories under his belt already this season.
All right. What do we got here? Stall warning on the South Plainfield.
Referee feels he's not making an attempt to get out of from underneath, and he bangs him with a stalling warning.
I can't imagine why. Honestly, I mean, I'm rather uneducated in this sport, but I would think he's trying to get out of here because he needs 2 points.
And he's running out of time. A minute 14 to go in the third period. And Mark's holding on to that 4-2 lead. And I think with Mark's experience, he's in a pretty good situation right here. He's a smart rider. He knows what to do. He knows how to control the tempo. And he's not going to let this one slip away. He's just too experienced for that. Referee calls another stalemate. Oh, South Plainfield fans are getting a little hostile. They're looking for a stall on Gensler. And the referee doesn't quite see it that way. And they're going to restart with 47 seconds to go in the third period. You can see the determination on Mark's face.
And it also, to me, is a good indication of this guy's focus, because we're well into the third period, and I imagine mentally and physically he's drained, but he's just doing his best to stay in it.
I think this is where that conditioning comes into play.
Gensler has really looked impressive here in the second half of this match. He has done what he has to.
This is going to all but secure a top seed in the upcoming county tournament for him. That's one more. It's one more for Gensler.
It's a point. That was the second stall warning on the South Plainfield wrestler Matthews, so it's 5-2 now. 10 seconds left in the match.
Gensler staying aggressive. He's got to be careful not to get a little too aggressive. This is going to be a big, big win for Mark. Big win. All right, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, Matthews is very disappointed. These guys come in here very keyed up for these matches, and it's just a dual match, and they're going to meet again. You know it.
Something I was just about to say, Jim. Something tells me they're going to see each other again. But going into that next match, Mark's going to have a psychological edge. That Eric Bellows taking him out for East Brunswick.
And he is going to be facing...
Let's see who we have coming on the mat. Looks like Chris Garucci. And it is. Now there's a new rule in gym. Once you head to the head table, you must go right to the mat. That's a new rule that was instilled this year.
All right, Garucci comes into this match with a 5-6 record, while Bellis is 8-4. All right, right away, it's 2-0. Garucci gets the 2 point. Has Bellis in a little bit of difficulty now.
Bells has come a long way since last year. He got some varsity experience last year as a freshman. And Coach Pazinko tells me that he's seen a lot of improvement in Eric this year.
You know, I'm looking over at the South Plainfield mat. Matthews is really taking this loss hard. It just shows you how keyed up these kids can really get.
Well, that's the second time they've wrestled. I was talking to Mark, and he says they did wrestle as a freshman, and Matthews pulled that one out. So it's sweet revenge.
Okay.
Long time coming for Mark.
Talking about Gensler, he's still coming down from his match as well. Sean Daly is talking to him. He's out of camera view here.
Well, they're two good friends, and I think they have a little rivalry going for the talking to both of them for the team wins. They're both in the hunt to set the school record. Right now, Gensler has a 2-bout advantage with Sean yet to wrestle tonight.
All right, as we see Garucci with I'm not sure he has an advantage over Bellis.
Well, don't be fooled by that 5-6 record. Garucci's a tough kid. He's been around on the mats. And I think he's a little better than that 5-6 record indicates. Garucci's working a tilt series here. Eric needs to get up to his feet, get some hand control.
Okay, period is over. Garachi has a 2-0 lead over Bellis, who is just a sophomore, comes into this match with an 8-4 record.
Now Eric had the choice of position, and he elected to defer his choice to the third period, which gives Garucci the choice, and Garucci took the defensive position. He gets a quick one, quick neutral, and they're on their feet. He's looking for the takedown.
Got it now.
Official Whitaker just awarded the 2 points.
5-0 the score.
One thing about wrestling, the old pin is always the neutralizer. I've seen wrestlers down 10, 11 points, and you catch it just right, and you work that fall, and all those points are erased. So it's never over. Eric needs to stay with him here. Just keep working up. This is a very young East Brunswick team, Jim. Very young team. We have 4 freshmen on the mats tonight for East Brunswick. So you know the future just looks real good for them.
Score is 5-0 for Garachi over Bellis. Stu, how important is, you say, experience? How important is it? I mean, is it possible for somebody who has, say, like a 500 record as a freshman to emerge as a dominant wrestler as a senior?
No, it happens. It's all in the heart. It really is. A lot of this is just a mental, psychological game, and you got to be hungry out there.
Okay, stall warning for
Bellis.
For Bellis, right. On his back now.
That's a pancake right to his back. Bellis got to get tough here. And he did. He's getting out of there. He's got to belly down and look away.
But, all right, still on. So he's got 3 points for sure out of this, does he not? Or 2?
Well, a minimum of 2. Yeah. We're going to have to wait and see how the referee feels. To earn the 3, you have to hold your opponent there for at least 5 seconds or more for a 3-point situation. There he is. Bellis, like I told you, doesn't give up. He's going to get 1 here, I think. That is the call.
3-1.
So we're going to go with an 8-1 score into the third period. Now, Bellis had deferred his choice to the third period, so he has choice here, and he elects the defensive position. So he's going to start down.
But he is in a deep hole now with an 8-1 lead for Garachi.
Oh, a quick reversal and 3 back points. He's right back in this match, Jim.
Okay. First order of business is to get out of this. And
now Garucci has to be careful here. He's going to get himself hit for a stalling call too. He can't stay parallel on the guy's legs like Garucci is right now. You got to come to the side and make an effort to look for the fall. I'm sure the referee is looking for that.
very adept with his hands.
That's how Plainfield kids. They're just aggressive. They just keep coming at you. I was starting to mention earlier is how many freshmen are in this lineup tonight for East Brunswick. I remember back 10 years ago where if you were a freshman and you got to go up to East Brunswick High School from Churchill to practice or make the team, you were a big gun.
Yeah.
And nowadays with the wrestling clubs and the advancement of the sport, you see more of it. But to have 4 guys in the varsity lineup tonight, the future looks real bright.
Now, why does Garachi get the 1-point escape? I thought that Bellis was down.
I think the call here is the referee felt that Bellis fled the mat in order to avoid a wrestling situation. And that's a technical point.
Okay, it's rarely seen.
Now you hear Coach Bazinko telling Bellis to stay tough and he can get out there and keep working. Now you see the score, Jim, 9-1. If it ends that way, it's going to be a four bout points for South Plainfield. That would be a major decision if you can have an 8-point gap. So what Bellis wants to do here, is get some points on the board, and if he can't come back for the victory, at least keep it close in the score to keep the team points down.
Does he? You think he has the presence of mind? Well, he's got his 2 now. And that does, but do you think he had the presence of mind to realize that he could use those points?
I have to think he's aware of the score and has the parameters about him to know that. And
Look at
he's
this.
looking good. He's got a deep half. He's got a deep half. It's not over.
15 seconds.
Just wait a second. The ref's counting.
And
He's going to
Garachi,
come up with at least 3 points here. If he can get that half deeper, he's got time. He's
5
got
seconds.
time. Out of bounds. Well, referee gave him 2. Brings it to 9-5.
3 seconds left. Not going to have enough time, but still in all, it's a way to come out of this match.
Well,
Looking good.
That last effort at the end brought it from a major decision to a regular decision.
So
Saved
it is
East Brunswick a team point.
12-5 is now the score. 2-1. That'll do it.
Okay.
12-5, I believe, is the final. Am I right?
I think it's 9-5.
9-5. I'm sorry. Yeah.
But way to come back at the end there. And Eric will be back. Only a sophomore. I expect to see some good things out of Eric in the years to come. So by district time, he'll be ready.
Makes the score 15-3.
Now to schedule East Brunswick wrestles certainly gets these guys ready come district time.
And we have, for East Brunswick, we're going to find out here in a
have to check
second.
a
I wonder if
name
this
here.
is Corio.
I think this must be Dan Corio
Right.
for South Plainfield.
Yes, this is
That's
Dan
Dan
Corio
Hoppy.
and Dan Hop. Okay. And this is the 126-pound or 128-pound bat, I guess.
28. Now come January 14th, 2 points were added to the weight classes to allow for growth, which is also a new addition to the rules this year.
How kind of them. These guys are cutting enough weight as it is.
I think you'll find a lot of the coaches have mixed feelings about that. I like the way the East Brunswick bench is real bonded together. You just saw them all huddled together, getting the next wrestler prepared to go on the mat. A lot of unity. Really helps in the program. Got a 2-point takedown for Hopping.
Hoppy has a 3-2 record,
He's a junior.
right? Corio 4-4, so record-wise, these guys are almost evenly matched. This is my, the next bout, it's going to be Teddy Wright. This is my first look at Wright. He did not wrestle the other match.
We had trouble cracking the lineup last year, but he's a big gun. He's provided a lot of leadership for the team.
Well, I remember him as a football player. He was just dynamite force out there. All right, still 2-0 in favor of Dan Hoppy. Corio, though, has a leg lock on him.
He's looking to get out.
They're fighting it. .49 seconds to go in period 1.
Now, if he comes behind him, he's going to get a 2-point reversal.
Got it.
And we got it.
And that ties the score 2-2. Crowd gives him a nice hand.
So he's going to go to the offense position now. Let's see what he can do on the offense. Hoppy comes right up to his feet.
And does he get that escape? Not yet.
Corio is going to look to control him on the mat, keep him and flatten him out, and look to turn. And Hoppy's going to explode right up. Corio follows.
Very tenuous grip.
And Corio is being careful not to let him out of his grasp.
Right, he's got 25 seconds to hold on. Notice Hoppy trying a couple of different techniques to escape.
All these South Plainfield kids, they stay aggressive. They're not going to give you nothing easy. You're going to have to earn every point on them.
Well, what do we have here? 8 seconds. He only needs to hold on for a little bit longer.
He's got to hold that leg.
I think he's going to do it. How much energy does it take to hold on to a move as opposed to escaping?
I wouldn't know where to start.
Okay. I guess the question I'm asking is who has the advantage as Corio holds on. So now he will be the one that will be in the down position looking to escape. But yeah, I imagine both of these guys have expended an enormous amount of energy just doing basically no scoring.
They're just getting started.
There we go.
So far, we're pretty even matched up.
2-2 the score going into the third period. Corio looking for that 1-point escape that'll give him the advantage. And he's got to watch himself. Oh,
out of nowhere.
A real mistake on Corio's part. He tried to turn it over and got caught. And unfortunately, 4 minutes and 19 seconds of the third period, actually 4:19 overall, Poppy comes out with himself a pin.
Looks like we got Teddy Wright on the mat. It's Adam Kaplan. This should be a nice bout right here.
6 important points makes the score 21-3. And this is Kaplan for South Plainfield?
That's Adam Kaplan.
Okay, with a 9-2 record.
Very experienced wrestler.
Well, this is going to be...
but I think he's going to get a good match from Teddy Wright.
All right, this will be another one of those marquee matchups. Not quite on the same level as Gensler and Matthews, but nonetheless, we should have a good one here.
It's going to be one of our better bouts of the evening. Kaplan's a returning district champ.
Enough said there. Third in the GMCs last year.
Third in GMCs, but Wright's not gonna. He's not gonna give up. He just seems like the kind of kid that doesn't care who he's wrestling. He's gonna go out there and take it to him. He's gonna concede nothing.
Teddy has a leg lock on. See if he can maximize some points.
I'm looking at Teddy, and I see a kid etched in stone out there, Jim. Yeah, that's two.
Accentuated by a
Teddy's not going to give him any.
And there's going to be a little bit of injury time there. South Plainfield not at all pleased that something was not called on that.
Well, they're looking for a slam call, but this is wrestling. This is a tough sport. You're going to have that. And I think if the situation was in reverse, you wouldn't hear a peep out of them.
Okay. And Phil Hostler, East Brunswick trainer, trots out to the mat.
Now, Jim, he's got 2 minutes. 2 minutes of injury time total throughout this bout that he can use in 3 increments as injury time.
Now, after this situation, since the referee did not call an intentional slam, if he's not able to go, he is able to go. But if he wasn't,
Teddy would be a default victory and six points for East Brunswick.
Rather an intimidating slam, I would say. I'm not going to use those words slam, but that can put the fear into a wrestler.
Well, I think Kaplan knows he's got a match here. You know, a relatively unknown Teddy Wright, but Teddy's a tough kid. Coach Bazinko said Teddy's going to give nothing. Now that's a caution on East Brunswick. One knee needs to be down on the side that the offensive wrestler is lining up from.
All right, let's see how Kaplan handles this. He's trying to get more aggressive.
We got 1 point coming to South Plainfield for locking hands violation, and referee is going to see if Kaplan can improve his position to score more than the 1. He's not going to award the 1 yet until the situation ends here.
All right, so it's a 2-1 score, actually. There are 38 seconds left to go in this bout.
Well, it hasn't been awarded yet, but it is in all practicality a 2-1 bout right now. That's a good call by the official.
Okay, and right, who gets the warning? He said green.
Well, he said
who's green?
Green was in on that leg for more than 5 seconds.
Okay.
And the official feels wasn't making an attempt to bring him back to the mat, so he's gonna give Teddy Wright a warning for stalling here. We have a 2-1 score.
25 seconds left to go in the first period. Seems like we've had 3 periods of action already. Wright brings him down again, but does not have position on him.
Well, I'll tell you, if Teddy can pull out a positive match here, it's certainly going to help him come county seed time.
All right, Kaplan comes back. And purposely being aggressive on Wright there with that face lock. Got a little payback, I would imagine.
Well, he's got to watch it. Referee's looking a little too hard. It's going to cost him a team about point.
Wright elects to go down.
Teddy chooses bottom here. Now with the speed of Teddy, he feels he could get an escape. He could explode out of there.
He is quick.
And he feels he has the advantage by taking the defensive position.
Assistant coach John Mooney imploring Wright to take deep breaths, get as much oxygen as he can into him.
Teddy pops right up and a quick one. He's out of there in 2 seconds.
Is now 3-3. Comes in on Kaplan.
Well, what you see here, Jim, is this tremendous penetration by Teddy. He's shooting past his opponent. He feels if he shoots past him, when Kaplan sprawls, he's going to be right where he wants to be. So he's wrestling. He's actually wrestling the opponent behind Kaplan. He's looking past Kaplan.
That is an interesting observation.
This is one of the first guys at practice, one of the last guys to leave. It's a front headlock. The referee blows his whistle, calls stalling East Brunswick. He's going to give one to South Plainfield.
And it makes the score 4-3 now for Kaplan.
It's a tough call to make. It really is. Now Kaplan's in a single.
Puts an arm around him now.
Trying to convert it into a takedown, and he does.
And he now has a 6-3 margin in the second period.
These guys are really working out there. Kaplan's looking to maybe work a cradle.
Wright trying to get to his feet.
That's going to be another point for South Plainfield.
Technical?
That's a stalling point.
Okay. 7-3 is the score now, with 22 seconds left.
Got an intense bat on the mat here, Jim. .16
seconds left to go in period 2. Kaplan with a 7-3 margin over Teddy Wright.
That's a head lever situation. Looking to turn him. Second period's winding down.
I hate to say it, but it almost is like Kaplan is punishing Teddy Wright now. He is really aggressive.
Well, he does bring a lot of experience into this match. He's a seasoned wrestler. He's been around a long time. And as tough as Teddy is, he's just up against somebody with a tremendous amount of experience.
All right, we have a little bit injury time.
Now, I'm not sure if we have blood here. If it's blood, the referee won't use injury time. He'll have an unlimited amount of time to control the bleeding, if that is the situation. I don't see any indication. Now, the referee is in the East Brunswick corner, so that means that the injury is related to the East Brunswick side. Now, during an injury time, there's no coaching allowed for the kid with the injury. So you see Kaplan, he's welcome to get coached now and get instruction from his coaches.
I think it might be a little bit of a bloody mouth of some sort.
I think that's what it is, Jim. Well, we got a 7-3 score, 2 minutes to wrestle. Let's see what we got here.
right, Wright tucks his head underneath Kaplan's shoulder, tries to drive.
Well, Wright's got a half in.
Yeah, but he couldn't hold it.
Kaplan's just explosive. He's got his one. The time is still going, Teddy. They got to both stay aggressive.
It's 8-3 now.
Just keep wrestling to hear that whistle.
Commits.
Well, it's interesting to note, Jim, why they're on their feet in a neutral situation. All the unsung heroes that go into making programs like this so successful. On the East Brunswick side, you have Coach Mooney and Bevage. They're the assistants, but they pay their dues every day in practice. And even in the summer, it's just a constant effort to make a winning program. And these guys don't get their names in the paper like the head coach, but they're at practice every day and paying their dues to add to the tradition of this wrestling program.
And Kaplan secures another 2 points. That was an interesting move on his part.
Well, Teddy's got to get up to his feet.
35 seconds left to go in the match.
Well, that's 2 points. The referee feels that Wright's not making an effort to work up to his feet, and he hits him with a 2-point stolen wall. And the next time would be a disqualification. So Wright's really got to work here. He's got
it's
19
a 9-point
seconds.
margin too.
Got 19 seconds. That last call hurt him. Now we got a disqualification. Referee felt that Teddy wasn't working up, and referee disqualified him.
So, disqualification.
So it's a six-point swing.
Kaplan really doing a number on Teddy Wright there towards the end. So now it's 27-3. And South Plainfield running away and hiding. And what is going to be of interest is going to be some of these remaining matches against, for instance, Sean Daly and Chris Curran. That should be a good one. We're going to see Jason Cannon from South Plainfield, who is one of the better wrestlers in the state.
On the mat now, Jim, we have Russ Leota against Ron Geis. Russ saw his brother Philip earlier, part of that triplet combination. I was about to say twins, and I caught myself. There's 3 of them. We can't forget the girl just because she doesn't wrestle.
Now, Geis is a familiar name in South Plainfield.
He's
wrestling
a big
lore.
guy. 66 and 17 career record. Comes in here 6-0 this year. Waukegan Valley champion, Hunterdon Central champion. A lot of championships under his belt.
I remember him as a freshman. He, when he was in the lower weight classes, he's up to 142 right now.
Well, this team of South Plainfield, it's been 4 years in the making. These 7 seniors have been in the lineup for 4 years and just blessed with experience.
And we're going to have a quick pin here, it looks.
Russell's got nothing to be ashamed of here. He is just up against the best.
Official time is going to be 39 seconds.
Well, you saw a quick fall here, but there's really, really a lot of experience on the mat for South Plainfield there.
Score becomes 33-3. And next match is going to be at 153 pounds, where we're going to have
Eric Savitsky for East Brunswick.
Right, coming a junior with a 8-5 record.
And let's see who takes the match for South Plainfield. They have 2 boys weighed in. Whoever comes out over to the table has to go onto the mat. This looks like Jason Vitale with a 9-1 record.
Okay.
But don't be fooled by Eric's 8-5 record. He's a tough kid, and I think we have a good opportunity to get some points on the board for East Brunswick here.
Vitale attacks immediately.
He's got a quick takedown. Skavitzy has some varsity experience. He was in the lineup last year. He's a tough kid. He's not going to give up anything easy here. Quick one.
For Savitsky on the escape.
So we got a fresh start now.
Woo, very quick.
You see a lot of family affairs in wrestling. Jason had an older brother to wrestle back for South Plainfield.
Vitale with another 2 makes the score 4-1.
Savitsky's working hand control. Referee's indicating that South Plainfield's still in control. He's going to let the situation keep going because Savitsky is still in bounds. And the referee's going to blow the whistle, but not before Savitsky earns 1 point neutral.
So it becomes a 4-2 score now.
No, referee gave a reversal.
2 points, so it's 4-3.
Savitsky's right in this match.
All right, and 40 seconds left to go in period 1.
Eric's one of the tough wrestlers in the East Brunswick lineup. He's not going to give up anything easy here. Only a junior, so he'll be back too. A lot of guys coming back next year for East Brunswick. I think even with the schedule that East Brunswick wrestles, by the end of this season, I think you're going to see a big difference with that schedule they wrestle. Savitsky's tilting him. He's earning points.
Still trying to bring him over. 9 seconds left to go in the period.
So he's got to break a 45-degree angle here to establish near fall criteria.
What are you going to
do
get?
For at least 2 consecutive seconds.
Nothing.
The referee awards nothing, nowhere. Savitsky had him to his back, but never for 2 consecutive seconds.
So the score remains 4-3 in favor of Jason Vitale.
Vitale elects to take the defense position here to start the second period.
Wants to get the escape. Savitsky showed me something, though, in that last portion of that first period.
A lot of heart, a lot of heart. Tough kid. I like what I see here.
Brings him over again, almost.
Now Eric's looking to turn. He's working that tilt series. He's got a one-on-one.
I got to tell you, the Vitale, a 9-1 record, knows he's in a match.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think he knows, too, that Savitsky's been on the mats and has the experience. I don't think he took Savitsky for granted.
Well, Savitsky does have, he was second in his district last year, and he finished 4th in the very prestigious Hunterdon Central tournament.
Interested to know Vitale is a Wachkill Valley champion.
Another rather prestigious tournament.
50 career wins under his belt.
All right, now Vitale establishes control. Gets 2 points to make the score 6-3.
I think this match is far from over.
1 point escape, 6-4.
We're working takedowns again. Now Savitsky's going to try to stay in, establish control. He can score as long as he stays in bounds. Even with Vitale out of bounds, Savitsky could stay in bounds. He can get points awarded.
Got him in a tough position.
The referee feels they stepped out. Good call. We're gonna go back to a neutral position.
.25 seconds left to go in the second period.
Well, if the quick math is right, Jim, I got nine underclassmen in the lineup tonight for East Brunswick.
Okay.
Both these guys are just working hard. And 7 seconds to go.
All right, 2 more points just at the end.
Quick duck under.
For Vitale. Could be an important 2. So the score is now 8-4.
Now it's Savitsky's choice.
A little bit of injury time now for Vitale. And I believe, Savitsky was awarded a 1 point
On the
either
end.
escape at the end
Right
there, so
on
it's
the
8-5.
Now, a lot of times you see these kids needing a little break. And abusing the injury time. But I don't think you'll see that here tonight. Both these teams come in well-conditioned, work hard in practice, and neither one of these teams are going to run out of gas on the mat. Well, I see the Star Ledger recently had South Plainfield ranked 10th in the state. And looking at them tonight, something tells me that might be an understatement.
They definitely look strong throughout. But there is a lot of quality in the state of New Jersey.
Well, this is the year South Plainfield, they got the monkey off their back, and they beat Del Valle earlier in the season. Something they have yet to do. Got a quick one for Savitsky.
Makes it 8-6, and we're going to have a close go at it for these last minute and a half of this match.
This is a key situation here. Savitsky can secure a takedown. He's right back in there.
Guess it gets down to who wants it more. Neutral position for both wrestlers.
Okay, the referee's going to restart him. Back in the center. Now, should this match end in a tie, we would go to an overtime situation. No longer can bouts end.
Stall for South Plainfield.
In a tie.
One more, and it'll be a point.
Referee feels Vitale's backing out of action.
All right,
Vitale's got to get in there deep. Nothing yet. Referee feels no points were awarded.
Inside his shoulder, shoulder.
Referee explaining the call to Coach Pavlak. Just take over his first year as head coach this year. Doing a great job. He inherited quite a rich team in talent. And keeping the tradition alive at South Plainfield.
We are under a minute left to go in this match.
Under a minute. Savitsky needs to secure a takedown. Vitale's got to make an effort. Stay aggressive. He's going to hit for stalling again.
Well, he's not. He really isn't aggressive.
When you're out on that mat, 45 seconds is just a long time, Jim. A long time. Seems like eternity. Well, Savitsky's looking to get on the legs. There it is.
There's the second point, so it's now 8-7.
Okay, now takedown's going to win this match.
And you saw Savitsky leaning.
Vitale's got to watch back in again.
25 seconds left to go.
I like what I see here, Jim. Savitsky's a tough kid. He just keep coming at you.
Remember now, Vitale, 9-1 record against quality opponents, so Savitsky reaching.
This is a crucial match for GMC seeding. I would think both of these boys figure to be in the hunt for a county championship. Good indication of here. The class of the weight class in the county is right here on the map.
Savitsky tries to reach, but there are only 3 seconds.
He's got to cross face and spin around right now.
However, Vitale literally holds on for an 8-7 win, but Eric Savitsky gave a good account for himself, did he not?
He sure did. He'll bounce back. These two guys can very well see each other again in the county tournament.
So that 3 points for South Plainfield makes it a 36-3 score. And now we're going to see the freshman, Larry Benson, for East Brunswick.
Well, Larry's got nothing to gain here but experience.
And who's going to go? Is that going to be Swigert?
Well, he's got a formidable opponent here. This is Swigert. He was 5th in the state last year for South Plainfield. And
they just keep on coming, don't they?
Larry's going to get a lesson, but
well, I was talking to
now, and you pay a lesson down the road.
All right, now here's a situation where Benson is obviously lacking in experience, but this is how he's going to get some experience. But I was talking to the Monroe coach, Jim Kushner, last night, and he was telling me that in those situations he doesn't choose to necessarily throw some of these young kids out on the mat because it could be demoralizing. I don't know. How do you feel about these types of situations?
Well, Jim, different philosophies for different folks. I think if you want to be the best, you got to go out and wrestle the best. And East Brunswick doesn't hide from anybody.
Well, Swigert is going to be very calculating here.
I think Larry's in a tough situation here, but he's only going to benefit himself down the road. I think what Larry's got to be aware of is the headlock. Swigert's is notorious for that front headlock. You saw a quick takedown and a quick escape.
Guess what?
So we got a 2-1 lead Benson.
And if nothing else, we ought to get a picture of that for Larry's scrapbook. Here we are with 1:17 left to go in the first period, and
when you get
freshman Larry Benson holding a 2-1 lead over fifth in the state Chris Swigert from South Plainfield.
Swigert brings a 54-18-1 career record into this match. 11-1 thus far this season with a Wachtel Valley Championship and a Hunterdon County Christmas Tournament Championship under his belt.
Stu, while we just have a moment here, we had mentioned that you're very active with the officiating in New Jersey. What would you consider to be the most significant rule changes for this year?
Probably the weight class. They added a weight class to the middle and the top and took one out in the bottom. And I've been hearing mixed reviews from the coaches around the county. Certainly benefited South Plainfield, where they had a light heavyweight last year, Jason Cannon, who fits real nice into that 215 slot. And I think Sean Daly benefits a little bit by it too. So I don't think you'll see either one of these two teams complaining about it too much.
Right. I will tell you that I have had the opportunity to talk to numerous parochial school coaches where the numbers are not as great, and they feel that they are working at a disadvantage because that weight class was taken out of the 30s and 40s, if I remember correctly, and popped up to the higher. And they just don't have necessarily, especially those parochial schools that do not have football programs where you can get at least able bodies.
Yeah, we got a quick takedown here.
Okay, it's 3-2 now.
But getting back to that point, Jim, the smaller schools will probably definitely be at a disadvantage where you do have the trouble filling the heavier weight classes.
All right, didn't take
a tight cradle here.
Didn't take Swigert long to get him on his back, but he gets away from its near fall, so it's 3 points, makes it 6-2.
Well, Benson's a fighter. He's not going to give up anything easy. He's going to make Swigert work. He's not going to concede anything to anybody. You know, it's not often you see a freshman in these upper weight classes. You know, when you do see the freshman crack into the lineup, it's usually in the lower weight classes. So for Larry to be here, just to be out on the mat as a varsity wrestler in upper weight class, you know he's proven himself in the practice room.
Trying to turn him over, and he's going to do it right now, but there are 8 seconds left. Let's see if Swigert can get him.
He's got to hang tough here.
3, 2, 1. Going to get away with it this period, but 3 more points. And that would make it 9-2.
You know, East Brunswick has nothing to be ashamed of here tonight. They're just wrestling one tough team.
I'll tell you what, South Plainfield is going to have a bounty of points for the GMC tournament. I can see every one of these kids.
Well, there's just such a gap between them and the rest of the GMC.
Which is sort of unusual. I mean, they've always been consistently good, but it seems like this is the first year where I see like a major margin between South Plainfield and the rest of the county.
Well, like I alluded to earlier, this team's just 4 years in the building. They got 7 district champs back, which is just an unheard of statistic. Yet alone to have 7 district champs in one season and have all of them juniors or younger to be back is just phenomenal.
I imagine, you know, they handily beat East Brunswick in the JV match, and so those are all wrestlers in the waiting.
Well, I think most of East Brunswick's underclassmen are here in the varsity.
Right. It's a good point. So it's a 9-2 score right now in the 160-pound match. 2 more points for...
Well, Benson's not giving up anything easy.
Right.
He's working hard.
And we're going to get a technical fall at what juncture, Stu?
We need a 15-point spread.
Okay. 11-2 is the margin now, as we mentioned.
Sometimes that helps the team. That one team point can very well make a difference in a team score a lot of the
All
time.
right, we have another 3-point
You got to like the way
2
Benson
points.
is just fighting and hanging tough here.
13-2. It's 11-point margin.
Very well see Larry as a big gun on this team and down the road.
And it looks like Benson's.
I see some of my old teammates back helping East Brunswick program this year. George Guido and Mike Wessler helping out with the recreation program.
Okay.
Two guys that
Remember
did the
those
job
names?
for East Brunswick. That's where that tradition comes into play and helps build a program.
Still, I don't want to put you on the spot here, but you're wrestling coach for East Brunswick. Who would you say is your favorite wrestler
Of all time,
for coaching?
most. It matters how you define that. The best wrestler.
Best or favorite? All right, there's the pin. And that occurs at a minute 37 of the second period, so that's going to be 3:37 is the pin time.
Well, Jim, I don't know if I can narrow that down just to one.
You don't
one
have
person.
to if you don't want to.
There's a number of them. There's a number of them. I would say one of the most talented kids I had the opportunity to coach was Walter Toto.
Okay.
That was my very first year here. And I don't think I could take too much credit for his success. I think he had that before I got here.
All right, I imagine we have German, Steve Jerman, Jermaine.
Jermaine, it looks like he's up
Brian
against
Towers?
Brian Towers.
Okay, now here's a match where, well, actually, Jermaine has a 1-6 record, and Towers is 3-7.
Well, if there is a light spot in the South Plainfield lineup, it might be here. You know, Towers is only 3 years experience, and
You say only 3 years of experience?
when it comes to South Plainfield, threes and only.
Okay.
But,
And Jermaine,
Jermaine,
Jr.
Jermaine, I think, is lacks the varsity experience himself, so maybe we'll have a competitive bout here. At this point, neither wrestler is in control. Jermaine
time-
pops his head out for the takedown.
Gets 2, and it's a 2-0 score.
Well, any points here would certainly add some respect to the team score.
All right, Towers escapes, so it's a 2-1 now score.
Well, Sean Daly over there in the wings, I think
Yep,
we've got something good about to happen.
and he's going to be going against junior Chris Curran.
Jermaine's trying to work a cradle.
Additional 2 now. Makes it 4-1. Well, this match is no longer in doubt, as we know, with a 42-3 score. But you mentioned up top that this is going to be a learning experience for the young East Brunswick team.
Well, I think Saturday against Old Bridge, you'll see East Brunswick come back a lot more competitive, and that match is going to ultimately probably decide the GMC Red Division Championship when you have Old Bridge and
Talking
East
about
Brunswick.
quality wrestlers, I see that Edison coach Jerry Nisavoshia has popped into the gym.
He's back at his roots, back coaching Edison High School. It's interesting to know, Jim, when we talk about that Red Division, no team has ever won that title. Coach Pazinko informs me, but East Brunswick or Old Bridge.
Is that a fact?
So it looks like it's going to stay that way this year, too.
Right. Cerebral is tickled with attempting to get in there. Woodbridge has had a good team in recent years, but East Brunswick and Madison Central.
And the cream keeps rising.
Now Old Bridge. All right, we got a reversal here. And that's worth 2 points. It's going to make the score 4-3 with
Some near fall points. Looks
Right.
like 2 more.
So it gives Towers now it looks to be a 5-4 lead.
East Brunswick's going to take bottom. But that team score up there really is no indication of what East Brunswick has. Unfortunately, in wrestling, the way the matches are scored, it's a winner-take-all system. It really doesn't tell you how tough these kids have wrestled. But when you come up against South Plainfield this year, whatever kind of effort you could put forth on the mat, certainly.
Well, Pazinko's team went up against High Point, and he's really wrestled among some of the best. Some of his wrestlers has seen some of the best wrestlers in the state. I'd be curious to see what he says about South Plainfield as to how they match up against some of the opponents that they've wrestled. Randolph was another opponent.
I think he knew they were in for a tough match tonight.
All right, looks like Towers has a lock, but let's see. All right, Jermaine is still in a down position.
He's got to get his head off the mat. I hear Coach Pazinko telling Germain he's got to move quick. He's got to keep working. Can't forget though, we had a big win for Mark Gensler earlier in the night against Greg Mathis. So that's something to be.
It's been the highlight for the Bears.
Proud of. I think Mark all but locked up top seed in the county tournament with that victory. And up next for East Brunswick, Sean Daly. You're going to see the second half of that 1-2 Gensler-Daly combination, that 1-2 punch.
Towers still holding on to that leg lock. It's been this way pretty much the entire period.
Well, Germain's got to work up. He's got to look to improve here.
That's how the period's going to end. So we have one more period, 2 minutes to go, with Brian Towers holding on to a 5-4 lead over Steve Germain.
Towers is going to be on bottom to start the third period.
And he will try to get out real quick.
What you might see Germain do here is give him 1 point and try to earn 2. Might see that strategy come into play here. Because Germain seemed like he had the better of Towers on their feet in the neutral position.
Let's once again correct the pronunciation. It's Skerman. We keep on saying Germain. I've done that. I've been guilty all season of football as well.
Better go to Steve then.
Minute 19 left. Neither wrestler given much here.
And there's what I said earlier. I think that's a smart move. Give him the 1 and try to get the 2.
So it's 6-4 now for Towers over Gehrman.
That's a good strategy on Gehrman's part. Give him the 1 and try to get that takedown. He's got a minute to do it. I think Towers is going to try to ride that lead out. He's going to be careful not to get hit for stalling.
All right, somebody was awarded a point here.
That was a stalemate situation. The referee felt there wasn't any significant action. And he's going to restart him in a neutral position. Well, you had asked me earlier if I had any memorable wrestlers in my past, and I had the opportunity to talk to Mark Gensler and Sean Daly before the match, and I asked them who they looked up to. As when they were back to their freshman year and sophomore years, and Gensler told me he owes a lot to his success to Eugene Lazark.
Okay.
And Sean Daly told me he always looked up to a Greg Tharney.
That's an interesting name. Greg
Yeah.
Tharney, you would think. Moderate success for East Brunswick, but nonetheless. All right, so the score is 6-4 with 41 seconds left in the match. Towers holding on this lead over Steve Gehrman.
Now you just saw a figure 4 around the head to avoid the takedown by Gehrman. Now that's where high school differentiates from college. That would have been a bow point.
Okay.
In the college level, you cannot figure 4 the head in a neutral position. But in the high school ranks, they allow you to do that without being penalized. Got 11 seconds for Gehrman to secure a takedown and put this bout in overtime. He's got to get around him for the 2.
And it's not going to happen.
Going to end this way. Going to end 6-4.
6-4, Brian Towers over Steve Gehrman.
A good match. A good match.
And now the score becomes 45-3.
I think here you'll see an opportunity for East Brunswick to put some points back on the board.
Not an opportunity. This will be from what I'm told, Sean Daly is really coming on strong.
He really is.
And of course, I don't think it's a revelation that he has possibilities of going even further than even the regions.
Well,
now he's going to have a difficult time in the regions because he's going to be matched up against John Van Doren of Somerville, who beat him 3-2 earlier this year.
That's what Sean wants. Sean wants a piece of him. He wants revenge.
Okay. And you see him with a leg wrap, or excuse me, an arm wrap on his right shoulder. And
Quick 2. Beautiful duck under takedown. Sean's around him. A quick takedown. He's going to get a little respect back for East Brunswick
This
here.
is Chris Curran from South Plainfield, who has a 7-3 record.
He's a junior.
Not shabby.
He's just going to be a little overmatched here. Daly's one of the East Brunswick all-time finest. And I have to say, it's a family affair over there at the Daly house. Sean has great support from the family. His father, Jim, has been an instrumental part of the East Brunswick wrestling program. And his sister, Shannon, and Carrie, and his mom, Donna, they've all helped out. They've all paid their dues to the program.
You know, this is the fruit of it right here.
It's unfortunate Sean has to graduate. The whole family's going to be missed, but I'm sure they'll be here supporting the Bears, even after Sean is in college.
Now, Daly comes into this match with 8 pins, which is the top pinning in the 185-pound class. As a matter of fact, he's one of the top pins in the county almost.
Well, Sean's a pinner.
Yeah.
He's a pinner.
And as you see right there,
one right here.
this might be, this is tough position now for Curran.
Yeah, Kieran made a mistake. He looked into the front headlock, and
He
Sean
will
was
not
just
get
there
out of
waiting
this one
for it.
right now. Matter of time, it looks
He's
like.
got 45 seconds. He's not going to hang it.
So in a minute 20, Sean Daly racks up his 9th pin of the year.
He's adding to that total.
Record goes to 11-0.
I think that's Sean's 51st career pin.
And I think he holds the career record, does he not?
Alluded to
I
that
think he broke
earlier.
it.
He has the career record. He's just adding to it. Every match out there, Sean just has another opportunity to add to that record.
So
Tape shoulder or no tape shoulder.
So East Brunswick narrows the margin to 45-9.
Here we have an interesting situation for East Brunswick. Dave Hagan, if I pronounced that right.
Yeah, you got it.
Help me if I'm wrong, Jim.
Dave Hagan.
Senior, first-year wrestler.
Right.
7-3. Talking to the coach before the match, tells me Hagan's been instrumental in 3 matches for East Brunswick this year.
Well, I'll tell you what, I know.
His key win in Edison and J.P. Stevens and Randolph.
Well, both he and Sean Daly were co-captains of the football team this year, and really a credit to and a good reason why East Brunswick had such a fine football season because of their leadership. So these are quality athletes, but they are also great individuals.
Does that make you think that Sean's responsible for getting Dave on the mat here?
It's a very big possibility. Maybe you know more than I do.
Well, he's certainly doing something right. He's off to a 7-3 start. Don't know too many people that can come on the mat with no experience as a senior. and win 7 out of 10 bouts on the East Brunswick schedule.
All right, we're having a discussion here. For what reason? I guess.
Well, you're only allowed a 22 bout limit going into the district tournament.
Right. Okay.
And I think Coach Pavlak's trying to decide, with the match well in hand, whether he wants to take one of those 22 bouts away
from Cannon.
From Cannon.
It's very possible.
They might want to save that total.
All right. They talked about they're going to forfeit it.
Now, being he weighed Cannon in,
Yeah.
instead of costing a new rule this year in wrestling, instead of costing that team 6 points,
Right.
it's going to cost South Plainfield 8 points because they weighed a person in, they don't send them to the mat.
Okay.
That's going to be an extra 2 points for East Brunswick.
All right. But it doesn't go. Well, how are we going to?
Now they're sending them.
Unless he's wrestling as the heavyweight,
I think the referee's going to have to sort this out.
This could be the heavyweight match.
Let's see what the referee decides to do here. Well, the referee...
This might be the heavyweight bout.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what happened right here.
All right, so the 215-pound match goes to East Brunswick.
It looks like we had a double forfeit. Nobody is awarded points.
Yeah.
And both boys are out on the mat at heavyweight.
Cannon is formidable. I'll tell you what, I want to see him against... Well, I'd love to see him against Monroe's Belush Jaskevich, who is undefeated.
There's a big boy there.
But I don't think those guys are going to meet, though, unfortunately, because Belush is the heavyweight, and Cannon is certainly taking aims at 217.
Yeah, I talking to the coach, he's only weighing in at about 200.
Okay.
So he's one that's certainly benefited by that new rule. With that little confusion that I just put you through a minute ago, at least it helped us explain that new rule.
Right.
With the 8-point forfeit as opposed to the 6-point forfeit this year.
But it's a wash here, so no points are awarded to either team.
Not at the one
East Brunswick chose to forfeit
weight class.
Yeah.
This might have been something the coaches had talked about before the match.
Right.
We'll just have to check with the coaches and see afterwards. This Cannon, he's certainly a state contender. He's been in that South Plainfield wrestling room back when he was a kindergartner. So it's amazing how some of these kids come into these high school matches with 12 years experience under their belt, Jim. The referee felt East Brunswick's backing, so he's going to award a stalling caution.
So it's a 2-1 score.
This is quite an initiation for Dave, having never wrestled to this year to get on the mat with Cannon. And he's got a takedown for himself.
Well, Cannon thought he could pull him over, and he forgot he's messing around with a football player.
Yeah, you
here.
can't take him lightly.
But he does a turn very nicely.
Pretty well put together.
And that's probably Hagen's inexperience more than anything else.
That's where the experience comes into play.
Yeah. And that's all it took. So a minute 20, and a minute 40. And I think that's going to wrap up this match here. Let's see.
Like I told you earlier, East Brunswick has nothing to be ashamed of here. I think that's the common denominator for every team South Plainfield's going to face this year.
So that 6 points gives South Plainfield a 51-9, and that's a final score there. I think what we had the difficulty was the 215-pound match was mutually forfeited by both teams.
Yeah, we'll have
and this
to
moved up to the heavyweights.
We'll have to get a clarification on that.
Well, we're going to have to do it off the air.
Yeah.
Too, unfortunately.
At least we'll know.
Yeah, but again, the final is 51-9, and just your concluding thoughts about this young East Brunswick team going up against one of the more dominant teams in the state of New Jersey.
Well, it's going to pay off. It really is. They scheduled a tough schedule. They're wrestling the best. When it comes crunch time, they're going to be right there.
Okay, well, just to quickly look ahead at East Brunswick's schedule, they are going to be facing this Saturday, and that's the January 21st. They're going to be at Old Bridge, which is going to be a marquee match for the Red Division. It should decide it. And then on the 27th, they will be at Woodbridge. And then finally, they will, well, actually, they have January 28th. They're going to go up at North Hunterton. The GMC tournament is going to be February 3rd and 4th at Piscataway. And then they have a home match against Rawway. And then they will wrap things up after the team championships. But I'm not sure East Brunswick's going to qualify for that with a February 18th match against Middletown South. So that's going to do it this evening. We thank you for joining us. The final score, 51-9. South Plainfield knocking you off East Brunswick. So for for Stu Kohn, this is Jimmy Allender saying have a good evening.